Hola, amigos. Welcome back to Travel and Talk. Today, I'm taking you on an unforgettable journey to one of the most iconic places in the world, the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, home of Real Madrid. But this story isn't just about football. It's about passion, history, and the magic of experiencing something bigger than yourself. And guess what? After the story, I'll share a quick and easy English lesson so you can tell your own adventures too. Are you ready? Let's go. The day started like any other in Madrid. Warm sunshine, the smell of freshly baked bread, and the sound of conversation spilling out of cafes. It was as if the whole city was alive with energy. As I walked closer to the Santiago Bernabéu, I could feel the excitement building. The streets were buzzing. Fans in white Real Madrid jerseys were everywhere. People were laughing, waving flags, and singing. Even if you weren't a football fan, you couldn't help but get caught up in the atmosphere. And then I saw it, the stadium. It was massive, shining in the sunlight, with its futuristic design making it look like a spaceship. It felt like the heart of Madrid, beating with history and pride. Walking into the stadium was something else entirely. Imagine standing in the middle of 80,000 seats, each one perfectly aligned, wrapping around a pitch so green it almost glows. Even though the stadium was empty, it didn't feel quiet. It felt alive, like it was waiting for the next big moment. Our guide, Javier, was incredible. He didn't just talk about football. He told us stories about legends. He spoke of players like Cristiano Ronaldo, Zinedine Zidane, and Alfredo Di Stefano. Players who weren't just athletes, but symbols of greatness. At one point, Javier said something that gave me goosebumps. He asked us to close our eyes and imagine the roar of the crowd during a Champions League final. He said, "Feel the ground shake beneath you. Hear the chants of 80,000 fans singing together." For a moment, I could actually hear it, and it was magical. After the tour of the stadium, we visited the museum, and wow, what a place. There were trophies as far as the eye could see. Champions League cups, La Liga titles, and individual awards for some of the greatest players in history. I stood in front of Cristiano Ronaldo's Ballon d'Or, Zidane's famous white jersey from the 2002 Champions League final, and an old pair of boots that belonged to Alfredo Di Stefano. Each item wasn't just an object. It was a story, a memory of a moment when someone achieved greatness. The museum didn't feel like a collection of things. It felt like a celebration of passion, hard work, and a legacy that has inspired millions of people around the world. But the most unexpected and unforgettable part of the day was still to come. At the end of the tour, Javier handed me a ticket and said, "You're in luck. There's a charity match tonight." I couldn't believe it. That evening, I found myself sitting in the stands, surrounded by Real Madrid fans, all chanting, "Hala Madrid." The energy was electric, flags waving, drums beating, voices singing. When the players came out, my jaw dropped. These weren't just any players. They were legends. Raúl, Roberto Carlos, and Iker Casillas were on the pitch. It was like watching a dream team from the past. Every pass, every goal, every cheer, it felt like magic. For 90 minutes, I wasn't just watching a game. I was part of the story. By the end of the match, I felt like a true Madridista. It was a moment I'll never forget. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever visited a place that left you speechless? Or maybe you've been to a stadium that gave you goosebumps. Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Now that you've heard my story, let's talk about how to share your own adventures in English. Today, we're learning how to use past tenses to tell stories like this one. When we tell a story, we usually switch between three main past tenses. Let me explain them in a simple way. First, we have the past simple. This is for actions that are finished. For example, I walked through the streets of Madrid. The stadium looked massive. Then, we have the past continuous. This is great for describing actions that were happening at a specific time. For example, fans were singing and waving flags as the players entered. The sun was shining, and the streets were full of life. Finally, there's the past perfect. This is for actions that happened before something else in the past. For example, I felt emotional because I had just seen Ronaldo's Ballon d'Or. If I hadn't joined the tour, I wouldn't have seen the match. Now it's your turn. Think of a special trip or memory. Write 3 sentences, one in the past simple, one in the past continuous, and one in the past perfect. For example, past simple, I visited London last year. Past continuous, the rain was falling as I walked by Big Ben. Past perfect, I had never seen anything so beautiful before. Share your sentences in the comments, and I'll help you improve them. Traveling isn't just about visiting places. It's about creating memories, feeling the energy of a moment, and connecting with people. And remember, language is your passport to the world. Don't be afraid to tell your stories, even if your English isn't perfect. The most important thing is to share your experiences and connect with others. Thank you so much for joining me on Travel and Talk. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories and helpful language tips. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep dreaming.